The first session actually related to Power Apps. It was focused on how we can build or what kind of tips that we need to follow before we create any app. If you want to you just view this session or review it again, you can find it on my on YouTube. I already posted there. I can share the link with you later on within the chat. And the second session, actually, it was about how we can build our first application. For example, if you are a beginner and you don't know how to build your application and you don't have any IT background, any coding background, how you will be able to build it easily. And I show the team how we can build it without doing that much of coding. And the same thing, if you want to watch this session again, you can go to my YouTube channel, or you can find my account through my Twitter, and you will be able to view all the sessions. So what we will learn today, actually all my meetings so far, it's about the beginner level. So if you are still beginner, you don't know how to use all these tools, so this session will be really good for you. So today what we will learn about Power Automate. It's a new tool or a tool from Power Platform, and we will see how we can use it and how we can integrate everything like Power Automate with Power Apps, and what is Power Automate and from where should we start. And also I will do, while I'm explaining, actually I prefer to do a live demo with you. So we will do a live demo, and I will show you from where we can get an access to Power Automate, how we can start build our first Power Automate, and all this stuff. And if you have any question, you can raise your hand by click on the raise your hand icon, or you can stop me and open your mic and just ask the question, or you can type it on the chat. So let me now share my Power Automate, or from where can we see Power Automate. Just a minute. Okay. So last session we built an application, right? And this application, it was about my certifications and how I can track my certifications. And it was before like an Excel, so I can track all my Excel, all my certificates, everything within this Excel. So we convert everything to be an app, and our data source actually was about. Let me just open it. It was about SharePoint, and I stored. And if you are not familiar with the SharePoint, SharePoint is a tool from Microsoft. You can store your data there, or you can build a website by using a SharePoint. And for me, for most of my examples, actually, or my projects, I'm using a SharePoint as a data source. So you can build a list, you can use it for your application for different purpose, actually. So this is what we did last time. And I add a few functionality, which is for advanced level. I will explain it while we are moving on with all my sessions. So for example, I add this one. I can see where I am, how many pending, and all this stuff. So if you want to know how you can build this gallery and all this stuff, you need to watch the video that I already posted on my YouTube, and also we explained on our last session. Today what we will learn, for example, what if I want to send a notification email, for example, if my certificate is completed or still under progress, or something, I did any change within my certificate, how I can do this? Should I do it manually? Should I, for example, if I want to send an email to someone that I'm working with, like my manager, that I want to inform him my certificate is completed, so please, for your information, or anything, how I can do this? Do I need to do it manually every time? What, for example, our example here, or our application here, is very simple. If you are working on a business that contain 100 or some more than 100 employee that they are using the application, do you think that you have a time to send an email for per person, or you do it manually, or do we need to have a specific admin to do all this job? It seems complicated, and for sure we cannot do all this by ourselves. So Microsoft, they come up with something, they call it Power Automate. Power Automate, if you have the license, actually you can view it from here, and from all apps you will be able to see. Let me, okay, let me do it from here. Strange. Okay, from here. Okay, here we go. So once you open your Office 365, from here you will be able to see something we call it Power Automate. They used to call it before a flow, but now they change it to be Power Automate. So everything starts with Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, and so on. So what's Power Automate? Power Automate actually, from the name itself, automation. So it will help you to automate your workflow. It will help you to automate your task. So it's like you are converting the thing from analog to be as a digital. And instead of doing something by yourself, you can use Power Automate to do it for you. And from here, once you open Power Automate, actually you will be able to see, for example, you are not familiar with Power Automate. You don't know from where you need to start, or you don't want to build your flow from scratch. How you can do it? From here, actually, there is a several templates actually already built in. You just need to select any template based on your flow or what you are looking exactly. You can select it from here. And actually, they have a several connection. For example, you can connect to Twitter, YouTube, SharePoint, all these tools. And for example, here on our example today, I'm looking to send a notification email once any new certificate added to my application or my data source. How I can do this one? For example, I don't know how to use this one. So how I can do it by using Power Automate. If you notice here, actually, there's a several type of flow. So we have automated, we have here, if you click on something, and scheduled cloud flow, desktop, and business process flow. So automated, it means you are building a flow. For example, our example here, when any new item is added to my data source, Power Automate go and send an email to XYZ. So this one we can consider it as automated. A triggered here or something that you build a specific button, and once you click on this button, the flow will run. This we can call it on a triggered manually as needed. And scheduled, it means I want to receive on a daily basis a specific email with the weather details, for example. So I don't want to click on any button. I don't want to do any action actually. I just need to put a date within my flow, and at this time, go and send me an email about it. Can I do this? Yes, you can by using a schedule cloud flow. So let us go back to our example today. Now I want to receive an email if any new certificate is added to my data source. How I can do this one? Now we know on our last session we used a SharePoint as a data source, right? So from here, either you start from a connector. For example, here you know that our data source is a SharePoint. So let me see what kind of a flow or a template that we have it under SharePoint. So once you click here, you will be able to see all the templates that already built in within Power Automate, and you can start build your flow. For example here, or you can build it from scratch. Okay, so for example here, I'm looking if any new item is added to my data source, go and send a notification email. So which one should I select here? Let me see, when new file, no, it's not a file. So it's when an item is created, okay? Or for example, here we have something else when an item or a file is modified. Or here, when an item is created or someone doing modification, or I did any modification. Maybe I want to use this one. But now, so far, I want to use this one. So just click on it. And once you click on it, okay, Power Automate by default will give you the trigger here, which is when an item is created. Or this one, it's only a trigger. Okay, so here from here, it's really something easy. I just need to select my site address, which is, it was certificate something. Yeah, I already have my certificate, and you don't need to type it actually. You just need to search based on your SharePoint site that you already have it on your account. list name. For example, I'm looking to this one because my application, or I'm looking exactly to this list. So if any new item is created under this site address and under this list name, what should I do next? What should happen after this step? So here there is something we call it next new step. So from here, I can start search about what kind of actions should we have. Okay. As I mentioned, I want to send an email to myself, or let's see, I want to send an email to myself in our example, or to your manager. So what kind of data source or what kind of connection I'm gonna use here? Outlook, right? So you just need to search by typing Outlook. Okay. Office 365 Outlook, and from there you will be able to see all the actions that you are allowed to do it if you select Outlook. So I want to see, I don't want to, yeah, here we go. I want to send an email. Maybe you want to delete an email or you want to do something. So everything is based on whatever you want to do within your application, or even you don't need to have an application to do a Power Automate. You can use it on Power BI. You can use it on anything related, for example, Power BI, YouTube, Twitter. So there is a lot of examples actually. So for example here, if any new item is created, just go and send an email. I will send it now to my email. Let me type my name, Mail Hadri. Okay. And subject, let's see, a new item. Okay. And here you can type, for example, you can type a specific body email. And the powerful things actually here, I don't need to type the title. For example, here, what kind of certificate may she add it in her data source? Do I need to type it manually? No. It's already connect to your data source or the columns that you have it in your list. So, for example, I want to see the exam name here. Exam is given by which, for example, Microsoft or something. But don't add it in this way actually, because you will see everything on one line. So for example, here, I can do something cool. You can type, for example, let me type exam name. And and also, if you are familiar with HTML, you can use this one to type your code as HTML. You can add a background, you can add several things, and you can make your Power Automate more powerful. So here I would like to add exam name, and what else I would like to add, exam given by, and you just need to put here by value. And what else? For example, I can add it created by. So if you are familiar with the SharePoint, there's two columns already built in the list. For example, for example, if you create any item, you don't need to type your name, because by default, if you entered anything in the data source, your name will be stored there under created by, and if you did any modification, it will be updated under modified by. And all these things, you don't need to do it by yourself. It's already built in. I think it's better if you want me to do a specific session about SharePoint. I don't know if you are familiar with the SharePoint. Maybe I can add a survey later on my Twitter account, and I can see, or Meetup, and I can see how many people they are beginner with the SharePoint and they want to learn more about it, because there's a lot of things you can do it with the SharePoint. So okay, let me add here created by, I want to see the name. So name here. Okay. I can mention it's created by, and here we go. What if I want to add someone on CC? You can just click show more advanced from here. For example, now once we run the flow, actually, we will receive an email from the account that the Power Automate is open from. So for example, I'm opening this Power Automate and I'm building this Power Automate from my account. So now I will receive an email from myself because I'm the one who created this flow because I'm sending an email. Okay. But if I want to send it on behalf of someone, so you need to add here, but you need to do a lot of step. And this one we can explain it later on. What if I don't want to do this step by adding send as and to make it complicated and do a lot of step? What if I want to send an email from Power Automate or not from my email? You can do this step by using, so there's something also here, they call it mail. And once you click here actually, and the same step, you can add whatever you want to this one, but the email you will receive it, it's not from the account that you created the flow, you will receive it from Power Automate, and we will test it. So let me remove this one and let us try to save our flow and run it. Okay, after you build your flow, make sure to save it. Otherwise, for example, if I pull this one and I close it, the flow will not be saved. So make sure every time if you are, if for example, if I want to do now any changes or anything, I need to click save. Otherwise, it will not be saved. Okay. And what if I want to check if there is anything wrong on my flow, or is there anything should I add or remove? How can I check this one? From here, flow checker, from here you can be able to see if you have any errors. For example, here we don't have any error or any warning that you received from Power Automate. For example, sometimes, let me show you example. Now I will remove my name, okay? And see the pop-up message or the red icon here that we have it. It means you have an error. So what is the error exactly? The error actually it's here. 2 is required. So it's really simple things. So don't worry if you are doing any mistake while you are building your flow. Power Automate will help you immediately. So let me type again my name. Cool. Okay. And you'll notice that there's a red star here. It means it's required by default. So don't you need to add something. So okay. Now let me save it. And once you save it, for you can test your flow. And for example, I want to change the name. You can click here, for example, test flow, and save. Save it again. And you can see here saving, and you will get this message. So if you have any error also, and you will get a pop-up message with the error, and also it will be a red. So now our flow is ready to go. It means everything is okay. My flow is working, it's supposed to work fine. There is no error. The connection is working fine. So how can I test? Now, either you can test it from here by yourself manually or automatically, or you can go and anyone will start adding anything to your data source. By default, your flow will work. But let us test it, then I will come back and explain to you other things that we have it on the flow. So let me go to the application and let me now add any new. For example, here I want to add, here we go, add a new certificate. Cool. Test. And it's not started. The month, let us make it 31. And Microsoft cost their certificate, it's 2. Okay, let me add it 3. You don't need to put anything here by default. It will saved as a on dollar sign or whatever you want to save it. And click if I have any attachment here, I can save. If there is nothing, and which is we don't need to attach anything, and we can save here. Okay, now the flow is supposed to work, right? How can I check if my flow is working fine? If there is anything is missing or something. So how can I check? From here, once you go to, where is it? Let me go here. There is something here, we call it my flow, okay? and you can search about your flow, and from here you can click on it and you can see. And you can see 28 days run history actually. So still the flow is still not running, so let us wait for a few seconds. And here you will be able to see if the connection is okay, and if there is any issue with your connection, you will see here a red color and with the X, and you need to fix it. Still not running. Okay. Strange. Are we adding the correct one? Before, let me see if the certificates it's already added here. Yeah, test here. Here we go. Okay, let us do it again and see. New test. And let us see here. Before this, let me double check if I'm selecting the correct one. See, I'm selecting the wrong um, list. That's why my flow is not working, because I'm submitting my certificates under a SharePoint list. I call it certificates. That's why. It doesn't mean my flow there's an issue. No, actually, everything is fine, but it's my mistake that I select a wrong list. So now, do you think that whatever I submit, it will work? Or should I receive now any email? No, because now I changed it after I submitted everything. So now I need to resubmit again, because now we're supposed to have a new flow because we changed the SharePoint list. Let me delete this one. And okay. And delete this one. I don't need this one. And let me add a new one. Okay, test. Save. Now the flow is supposed to work. Yes, I received an email. I just saw it on my phone, so now I'm supposed to receive it. Let us wait. Yeah, first, I just saw your comments. It's really good things about SharePoint. You can easily save the data and attachment in the same row. Exactly. Okay, here we go. See, I just received the email. So whatever you are adding or whatever you are building, you're supposed to check your flow from here. And now we can see, for example, how many the duration to see if the flow is running. For example, it took 22. And here we go. How many? It's a start at 9:25 p.m. So 50 seconds ago. So it's really cool things that you can check. And if my flow is there anything uh, or any error, anything, you will be able to check it from here. And what else? Let me see if you have any. Where can the second video for the series? Okay. Okay, thank you first that you're gonna share the link on chat. Okay, sure. Okay, so we already did two sessions before, and the first one it was like what kind of tips should we do, and the second one it's about how we can build our first application. So we built this one actually. And today we are learning how we can build the flow together and how we can use Power Automate to run everything. So now let me go back to the flow and let me remind you about the thing that I mentioned it before. I mentioned that now I'm receiving an email from May Ilhajri, which is the one that she created the flow, right? So now I don't want to send my email, or I don't want the user to see my email as an end user, as the one who is running the flow. Because sometimes if you are running an application, and let's assume this application for 100 plus users, and assume that your flow is running under your name, okay, and you will receive 100 of email from the user. So that's why I'm avoiding to use send an email, uh, or what I'm doing actually within my company, there is a specific thing that we can use send on behalf of someone, which is we have already a role account that you can send as on behalf of someone, so no one know that you are running the flow, or some no one will reply to your email immediately. So now let me show you something. Let's say that you don't have a role account, you don't know how to do all these steps, you are a beginner still, and you want to make it very easily. How you can do this one? Let me remove this one, delete, and let me add another thing. So I want to do the same. I want to send an email, but instead of saying the email from my account, I want to send it from Power Automate account. How can I do this? So there's something here, not Outlook, Mail. Click on it. Send an email notification. You can type, for example, what if I want to send, for example, this item is created by the user. So I want to send an item, or I want to send an email to the person that who create this item, right? So do I need to save their email? Do I need to type 100 email here? No, actually, as simple as you can go from there. As we are using a SharePoint, you will be able to see that created by email. So if I'm sending, or if I'm adding any item, and let's see, Faraz, he is adding a new item. It means whenever anyone is running, or working, or adding anything to the application, to the SharePoint, they will receive an email. It doesn't matter how many users they are using your app, your SharePoint, they will receive an email, and the flow will run. And for single running, actually you will be able to see a row on your Power Automate. So let us do the same, and let us see if we will receive an email from Power Apps or Power Automate account, or from where now we will receive an email. And let us type a test, and the body email will be test. Okay, and save. Okay, and now what we will do, I don't want to add any new item. I can go from test automatically, because I already have a record, and this record already submitted while I'm creating this one. And from here, see, I can see all my record, and I can test whatever I want. For example, here I have only one record already tested, and it was working fine. And let me click here and test. Now it show me everything is correct. There is nothing wrong. Now I supposed to receive an email, not from Mail Hadri, from Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate. Let me see the email. Here we go. See? Microsoft at powerapps.com. I'm not receiving any email from May. So before, while we are when we used Outlook, we receive an email from the person who sent an email, right? Or the person who created the flow. But if you are using a mail, you will receive an email by default from Microsoft at powerapps.com. So if you are running a huge business and you don't want to send an email from Microsoft Power Apps and all this stuff, you can use Outlook, but you need to create another account or role account to send an email on behalf of this email. Okay, what else? Let's see if we have any question. Thank you first that for sharing and taking control on that chat. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So I think so far we don't have a question. Cool. Okay. What else? What do we have here? I don't want to go in more details because, as I mentioned, my sessions is still we will move from beginner to till advanced level. So to make sure that I'm covering everything and everything will be posted on my YouTube in case if you want to share it with anyone. Okay. So, as I mentioned, as a beginner, what I suggest for you to start building your flow by using a template, or you can create it from scratch. It's not that much difficult actually. You just need to search about your data source, everything. For example, let us do the same same thing that we did it by a sample or the same thing. So, for example, here start from blank. Let me select this one. Either you can select the triggers from here or you can skip. But make sure or save this thing on your mind. You cannot start your flow without having any triggers actually. For sure. See here we don't have anything. It means I cannot there's no flow. So you need to start with the trigger. For example here, the same thing. When an item is created, I will double click on it. I can search and the same thing. So the same way I can search, for example, for the condition, for the mail, for the Outlook. It's not difficult actually, even if you start from scratch. It's easy. Okay, let me go back and you can see the templates actually, as I mentioned, from my flows, you will be able to see all your flows that you created and the type and when last time you modified your flow. For example, here 3 minutes ago, I have a lot of like 1 year ago. Okay, now what if I don't want to delete my flow. I just want to turn it off. How I can do this? Click on it and from there you can edit your flow the same step that we did it, or you can share it with other actually. For example, what if I want to share my flow with someone that we are working on the same project and um, I don't have time to do all the modification and I want my colleague to go there and do the modification. Is it possible? Yeah, actually. And you can both work on the same flow. And this is for sharing. And but from where can I see the shared flow? I will explain it later. You can save it as it means that you can copy the flow. So if I want to have the same flow but for other project or other data source, but the same concept, the same flow, the same actions, the same triggers, but for different data sources. Yes, you can save it as, and once you click save as, let's see what will happen. You can see copy off. You can change the name and save. And once you save it, it will goes immediately under your flow, and you can see it uh, as a copied version. Okay, you can delete your flow, send a copy, submit as a template, export if you want to export it and share it with other people like outside your organization, or I want to share it with someone. You can export it and you can import it actually. You can check the analytics for your flow. Now I want to turn it off. So click turn off. And once you click turn off, see what will happen. Let me go back to my flow. The icon here, it will be like a hidden. It means your flow is off. What if I want to turn it on? As simple as go there and click on turn on. Okay. What else? Here, it show me the connection. For example, I'm using Outlook, I'm using Mail, I'm using a SharePoint. It would show you all the connections that you have it in your flow. Here I'm the owner. I want to add another owner. You can do it from here. Either it will be an individual user or a group. and you can add the name of the person or email address or a user groups and so on. And once you add this person, he will have the full functionality to add, delete, because he will be the owner, co-owner for the flow actually. And what else? The same thing, if you want to create, you can create from blank, or you can see start from a template. And you can see the connectors here. Let us see how many connectors. I want to see all the connectors. You can click here, all connectors. And from there, I think I will do something really cool for, because now I'm starting to submit a lot of videos on my YouTube. And I don't want to do every time to go to my Twitter and type the same thing. Hello guys, go and to check my video on my YouTube. So what I can do actually, it's really cool things. Let me search about YouTube. YouTube. Okay. So see, they are recently added connectors actually. And let me check. So we have a YouTube, and let me check Twitter. We have a connector. It's really cool. So let me check now if we have any template. I'm a beginner now. I will consider myself as a beginner. I don't know how to build. I'm just thinking about a flow that it will help me to send an email or to send or to post a tweet on my Twitter when my video it's already uploaded on my YouTube channel. Is it possible? Do you think is it possible? Let's see. Let me type about YouTube. So once you go to the template, just type about your connector, okay? After you check if we have it already under connectors, or you can type it here immediately. You don't need to do this step. And you can see now all the templates. It's already built in. You just need to put your account. For example, here, share YouTube video on a Twitter. It's really cool. I really love this one. I will start use this one actually. Or post to Twitter for YouTube videos that match a certain keyword. For example, I have something about related to Power Apps. So go there and post it. And what else? When my video is uploaded by channel, post a tweet and send email. It's really cool things actually. But this one, it will fit my purpose actually. So let me click here and see now. You just need to add your account and that's it. So here, my account, my Twitter, continue. And here for the video, you don't need to do anything because I already added my email that link to my YouTube channel. And here by default, a tweet, text, check out this new YouTube video I uploaded on my video list, and it will go and trigger the video. See here, trigger body and HTML link of your video. You can add a specific media, like a video list. It's already built in here. Or you can change here, for example, I don't want to see this one. I have a specific message that I want to send it on a Twitter. And that's it, as simple as. Can we, now I'm not planning to post anything on my channel. Maybe I will, after this session, after I save it and put it, I will test this one and I will show you. So a lot of fun things you can do. You don't need to be an expert with Power Automate. You There's a lot of templates already built in. Just go and see what kind of and what kind of things that will fit your purpose or your project, and you can start building. And slowly, while you are using the templates, actually, you will be able to learn new things because you will see, oh, I want to add this one. How can I add this one? And you will start to play around with the Power Automate, start to learn more about it, and so on. So what else? If you want to learn more, and you can go from here, learn, and they already, Microsoft, they added a lot of documentation, and you can go there, read more about it. And also there is a site we call Microsoft. Let me type it, Microsoft Learn. So let me go here. I really love this site. Actually, I learned a lot of things from this side. Microsoft Learn, a lot of documentation. See, I reached level 15. It's really something huge because I really like to go there and read more about their products, their for example, Power Apps, Power Automate, a lot of things they have it here. And you can search if you want to apply for your certification, you can go there and overview, check what kind of exam they have, and so on. So if